Welcome to our channel, where we dive deep into the timeless wisdom of Psalm 23, a passage that has comforted hearts and guided lives for generations. In this video, we'll explore how this psalm can transform the way you face challenges, embrace peace, and walk in faith every day. Whether you're seeking encouragement, answers, or simply a moment of reflection, this journey through Psalm 23 will inspire and renew your spirit. Stay tuned as we uncover its powerful lessons and practical applications for your life. Psalm 23 is more than just a prayer. It is a life-altering promise of God's care, provision, and guidance. When we wake up each morning, our hearts often feel heavy with concerns, work deadlines, family responsibilities, or personal struggles. Yet, the words of this psalm remind us that we are not walking through life alone. Imagine starting your day with an unwavering assurance, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing." Let me take you on a journey today, unpacking Psalm 23 in a way that connects deeply to our everyday lives. Together, we'll explore its profound promises, relate it to real-life examples, and draw lessons to inspire and strengthen our faith. And before we dive deep, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss such inspiring content. Let's begin this transformative journey. God's tender care as the Good Shepherd. Psalm 23 opens with one of the most comforting declarations, "The Lord is my shepherd." These words paint an intimate picture of God's role in our lives. A shepherd's job is not just to lead sheep but to care for them, watching over their every need, protecting them from harm, and ensuring they thrive. I remember a time when I felt completely lost, both professionally and personally. It was as if I was walking in circles, unable to see any progress. During this season, a mentor shared this psalm with me, emphasizing how God's guidance is perfect even when we don't understand it. Slowly but surely, I began to see how every closed door led me to better opportunities. David speaks of being led to green pastures and still waters, a metaphor for abundance and peace. This promise doesn't mean life will be free from challenges, but it assures us that God provides exactly what we need, even in unexpected ways. A calming presence amid chaos. There was a single mother I once met, struggling to make ends meet. Despite her financial difficulties, she shared how moments of prayer brought her inexplicable peace. Her life wasn't perfect, but her soul found rest beside the still waters of God's presence, restoration, and renewal of the soul. Life can drain us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. David's declaration that God restores our souls is a powerful reminder that we can always turn to Him for renewal. Overcoming burnout. There was a period in my life when burnout consumed me. Even hobbies that once brought joy felt burdensome. During one sleepless night, I opened Psalm 23 and prayed, asking God to restore my weary soul. That simple prayer began a journey of healing, teaching me the importance of leaning on Him for strength. Facing the valley of the shadow of death, the psalm doesn't promise a life without hardships but reassures us that we don't face them alone. God walks with us through every valley, offering His protection and guidance, courage in dark times. Consider the story of Corrie ten Boom, who survived the horrors of a Nazi concentration camp. Despite losing her family, she held on to the promise of God's presence, stating, "There is no pit so deep that God's love is not deeper still." No matter how dark the valley seems, whether it's financial struggles, health challenges, or emotional loss, we can take courage knowing that our shepherd is with us, lighting our path. Victory in the presence of enemies. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. This vivid imagery shows how God's blessings often come despite opposition. Modern-day parallel, standing firm in faith. A young entrepreneur I once interviewed shared how competitors tried to sabotage her business. Instead of retaliating, she trusted God to fight her battles. Not only did her business thrive, but she also found peace in her heart, forgiving those who wronged her. Overflowing blessings and eternal assurance. The psalm concludes with the promise of goodness and mercy following us all the days of our lives and eternal fellowship with God. A thoughtful illustration: imagine a shadow that never leaves you. It's a constant companion, much like God's goodness and mercy. They pursue us relentlessly, ensuring that every chapter of our lives is marked by His grace. Life doesn't end with earthly struggles. The promise of dwelling in God's house forever reminds us to live with an eternal perspective, finding hope even in our hardest moments. Psalm 23 is not just a poetic scripture. It's a daily reminder to trust in God's provision, guidance, and protection. Whether you're in a season of joy or hardship, this psalm encourages us to lean on the Good Shepherd who never fails. Psalm 23 is not just a poetic scripture. It's a daily reminder to trust in God's provision, guidance, and protection. Whether you're in a season of joy or hardship, this psalm encourages us to lean on the Good Shepherd who never fails. Let me leave you with a story of a hiker who got lost in the wilderness. For days, he wandered without direction, until a shepherd found him and guided him back to safety. Much like that hiker, we often lose our way in life, but God, our shepherd, is always ready to lead us home. Life is unpredictable, but Psalm 23 assures us that we're never alone. Every valley is temporary, and every blessing is eternal. Hold on to these promises and let them guide your steps each day. Finding renewal amid life's chaos. Life often feels like an endless cycle of demands, responsibilities, and unexpected challenges. We move from one task to another, barely pausing to breathe, let alone reflect. Yet, Psalm 23 reminds us that God offers us moments of renewal, even in the middle of our busiest seasons. The promise of restoration. The psalm says, "He restores my soul." This isn't a superficial fix or a temporary escape. God's restoration is a deep, transformative process. It's about mending what is broken within us, our emotions, thoughts, and spirit, so that we can live fully. Just as a shepherd tenderly cares for an injured sheep, God tends to our wounds, no matter how hidden or deep they may be. Think of a time when life felt overwhelming, when you were burdened by the weight of decisions or drained by endless responsibilities. Did you take a moment to pause and let God's presence renew you? Often, we try to push through on our own, but Psalm 23 invites us to let go and trust the shepherd who knows how to restore us completely. God's restoration often comes in subtle ways. Through His Word, spending quiet time reading the Bible allows God to speak directly into your heart, providing clarity and peace. In creation, taking a walk in nature can remind you of God's vastness and His care for even the smallest details. With others, fellowship with people who uplift and encourage you can be a source of God's renewal. These moments of renewal aren't just for our benefit, they prepare us to face life's challenges with renewed strength and hope. Walking through the shadows. The psalm continues with a powerful image. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. This part speaks to the inevitability of dark seasons in life and the confidence we can have as God's children. The valley's purpose. While the valley is often seen as a place of fear, it's also a place of growth. Shepherds lead their sheep through valleys to find the best grazing land or safest paths. Similarly, God may allow us to walk through difficult times, not to harm us but to develop our character and deepen our faith. Imagine someone facing a serious illness or financial hardship. In the moment, it feels overwhelming. But many people later reflect on these experiences as pivotal moments that drew them closer to God. The valley, though painful, is not permanent. It's a season of transition, leading to something greater. God's presence in the darkness. The most comforting part of this verse is the assurance of God's presence. The shepherd doesn't leave his sheep to navigate the valley alone. Instead, he walks beside them, protecting and guiding them every step of the way. Victory in the presence of adversity. Psalm 23 shifts from the valley to a place of celebration. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. This imagery speaks of victory and God's favor, even in the face of opposition. A public display of blessing. In ancient times, sharing a meal was a sign of peace, honor, and provision. To have a table prepared in front of enemies is a declaration that God's favor is upon you, no matter the circumstances. Think of how God has provided for you in ways that seemed impossible or unexpected. Perhaps it was a promotion you didn't anticipate, a relationship restored, or strength to persevere during a trial. These moments are reminders that God is actively working on your behalf, even when others doubt you or stand against you. The overflowing cup. The psalm goes on to say, "You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows." This is a picture of abundance, not just enough to get by, but more than enough. God's blessings are not limited by our circumstances or the opinions of others. When we walk with Him, we experience an overflow of peace, joy, and provision. Living a life marked by goodness and mercy. The psalm concludes with a declaration, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life." These aren't fleeting promises. They're lifelong guarantees for those who trust in the Shepherd, God's active pursuit. Goodness and mercy don't just exist in our lives, they actively pursue us. No matter where we go or what we face, God's blessings and His forgiveness are always within reach. Imagine a loving parent who continually watches over their child, ready to intervene at any moment. That's the picture of God's care for us. Even when we stray or make mistakes, His mercy pulls us back, and His goodness restores us, dwelling in His presence. The psalm ends with a promise of eternal fellowship, "And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." This isn't just about heaven, it's about living in God's presence every day of our lives. When we align our hearts with His, we experience a foretaste of eternity right here on earth. Personal testimonies of God's faithfulness. Stories often resonate more deeply than abstract ideas. Here are two personal examples of how the truths of Psalm 23 have transformed lives. Story 1: A valley turned into victory. A young mother faced a season of despair after losing her job unexpectedly. As she turned to Psalm 23 for comfort, she found strength in its promises. God provided for her family in miraculous ways through the kindness of strangers, unexpected job offers, and a renewed sense of purpose. Today, she looks back on that valley as the turning point that deepened her faith. Story 2: An overflowing cup. An elderly man battling loneliness after the death of his spouse found hope in the image of God preparing a table. Through his local church, he discovered new friendships and a renewed sense of community. His life now reflects the joy and abundance that comes from trusting in God's promises. Applying Psalm 23 to daily life. Psalm 23 isn't just a beautiful piece of scripture, it's a guide for how we can live our lives with confidence and peace. Here are some practical ways to apply its truths. Start your day with gratitude. Reflect on how God has been your shepherd, providing for your needs and guiding you through challenges. Trust Him in difficult seasons. When life feels overwhelming, remind yourself that the valley is temporary and that God is with you. Celebrate His blessings. Take time to acknowledge the ways God has prepared a table for you, even in the presence of challenges. Share His goodness. Just as Psalm 23 has blessed you, look for ways to share its message with others. A shepherd worth following. Psalm 23 reminds us that we are never alone. We have a shepherd who guides, protects, and provides for us with unshakable love. As we walk through life's ups and downs, let us hold on to the truth that God is always with us, leading us to places of restoration and peace. If this message has encouraged you, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to walk together, trusting in the shepherd who never fails. If this message has touched your heart, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with someone who needs encouragement. Subscribe to our channel for more uplifting content, and let us know in the comments how Psalm 23 has inspired you. Let's walk this journey of faith together. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Psalm 23. We hope this exploration has brought you comfort, encouragement, and a deeper understanding of God's care and provision. Remember, no matter what valleys you face or victories you celebrate, you have a shepherd who walks with you every step of the way. If you found this video meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspirational content. Let's continue to grow in faith together, trusting in the promises of our ever-faithful shepherd. See you in the next video.